Our next team is called East Africa Green Environment Promoters. Four members of both Chevening and CSC alumni from Kenya and Uganda. Over to you.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, Catherine. I'm Caroline Jelimo, presenting on behalf of my team. And just to say that while the world is moving to using sustainable energy sources, there is a group that is being left out. And looking at Africa as a whole, the rural community, which actually forms the bigger part of the community in Africa, are actually very poor. They are poor, and actually majority of them are living below $1 a day, and they are hard to access, and they are also not able to access these types of energy sources. Therefore, they are still using biomass, which is actually the biggest polluter. So we go to the next slide, Catherine. So what is the challenge here? The biggest challenge actually that is being faced in Africa and East Africa is the majority of the rural communities live in poverty, hard to reach, and have little access to climate change information. So we are seeing a massive deforestation in this region, and this actually results in a shrinking of the carbon sinks. So women and children are actually more impacted in these climate change issues, because they are the ones who rely on ecosystem services for survival. We see that they are going out to seek biomass as a source of domestic energy, and therefore it results in exacerbating the impacts of climate change. And as a result of that, there is also health complications among this population because of indoor air pollution. Next slide, please. Thank you. So what is our solution here? We also realize that this group, they are not aware about climate change, and they are also not aware of alternative sources of energy. So our solution seeks to embark on creating awareness so that this community or this group of people are enlightened on climate change and also on alternative sources of energy. So we want to also, our policy proposal seeks to initiate a tree planting initiative to act as carbon sinks. And our policy proposal seeks to prioritize on indigenous trees. We realize that indigenous trees takes a longer period to mature, and we are talking of a span of 30 to 50 years. So this will actually help to solve the issue of encroachments into the forest resources. We also want to introduce briquettes as an alternative source of energy. So briquettes actually is a sustainable, clean source of energy that has not been taken up, because this is a very poor group that we are talking about, people living less than $1 a day. They are not able to take up these other sources of energy like solar. And actually, if I speak about Kenya, the government of Kenya is trying to decarbonize the system and introduce wind power, but still we are saying that this is not adequate to cover the whole population. And so this is a challenge that is being faced throughout East Africa. Next slide, please. So what is the impact? So awareness creation on climate change will result in better decisions and improved adaptations. We realize that if these rural communities become more aware of climate change, they will be able to make informed decisions. And therefore, we will be able to see improved adaptation to climate change. So if we are able to undertake extensive tree planting, we'll realize that we're able to expand our carbon sinks, and therefore it will help a long way in reducing CO2 in the atmosphere. So we are also saying that tree planting will also help Kenya to achieve its 10% forest cover target,
remaining,
which is by 2025. Briquettes will also replace wood as a source of fuel that save women time, which can be used in other productive activities. It will also to safeguard their health by eliminating indoor air pollution. Next slide, please. So implementation, we hope to implement this project in Elgeyo Marakwet County with the possibility of scaling it up throughout Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. We hope to undertake awareness creation. We hope to undertake land cover change assessments. We want to estimate greenhouse gas emissions. We want to set up renewable energy mini plans for making the briquettes and carry out tree planting drives and disseminate our results. Our key stakeholders in this case would be the national government, county governments, local community members, the media, development partners, research institutions, and private sector players. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Caroline. Lots to think about there. Any questions from our judges? Yes, Niti.
Hi, Caroline. Thank you for that presentation. You want to raise awareness on climate change and thereabout bring about better practices. I'm just wondering whether that in itself will be enough. And it feels a very top-down approach, because in the sense that to bring about change, one really has to engage with stakeholder involvements, engage with the community, and get them to come up with the solutions, including what are the alternative livelihoods or alternative practices. So has this been factored into your plan, whereby you have extensive engagement and consultation with the communities, with the affected communities, as opposed to what maybe someone coming from the outside and trying to tell people what, about climate change and hoping that it inspires them to change? That's one clarification I would like from you. The second one is about this tree planting initiative, where maybe you could elaborate on where, who's going to give the land for the trees to be planted on, who's going to give the advice on the type of trees which should be planted. You did mention native species, and who's going to pay for them, and who's going to also look after the maintenance of the trees. Because many a time when we have big, large-scale tree planting, the success rate is usually quite low. So how do you overcome this possible negative impact? Over.
Just in honor of time, and also putting each team in the same scenario, Caroline, if you answer one question live, and then Niti, if you wouldn't mind just summarising the second question in the box, and the team can respond to that there. Thanks. Over to you, Caroline.
Thank you so much for those two questions. So one, the first question is engagement, and this policy proposal will aim to involve the local community. That's our target community. And we have identified various stakeholders as well, who we hope to collaborate with. We are aiming at dealing with indigenous trees, and we have research institutions within this community who will help us to actually identify the most resistant tree species. With the changing climate, we are saying that we need to have tree species which are more adaptive and can survive the harsh conditions. So yes, the local community will be involved in this case. Thank you.